The most dangerous weapon in a woman's arsenal isn't her words, it's the silence between her lies. Behavioral observations suggest that your gut feeling isn't paranoia, it is actually your primitive brain detecting a shift in the biological frequency of your relationship. When a woman begins to secretly share herself with another man, her entire psychological frame shifts, and if you aren't trained to spot the subtle deviations in her daily routine, you are essentially walking through a minefield with a blindfold on. Most men wait for a smoking gun or a confession that never comes, but the truth is usually written in the way she holds her phone, the sudden change in her scent, and the way she looks through you instead of at you. If you've felt that cold shiver down your spine lately, you need to watch every single second of this briefing. I'm going to break down the invisible markers of secret infidelity that 90% of men miss until it's too late. I'm going to show you how to see the ghost in your house before it robs you of your home and your dignity. I'm not here to argue with the world about what a real man is. I'm here for the men who are quietly trying to get their lives together, the ones rebuilding, the ones learning discipline the hard way, the ones who got knocked down and decided to stand back up. If you're working on yourself, even if nobody sees it, this channel is for you. Subscribe if you're serious about growth. Leave a comment so I know you're here. No noise, no hype, just men doing the work. The first thing you have to understand is that infidelity is a process, not an event. It begins in the mind long before it reaches the bedroom. Behavioral patterns show that a woman who is secretly cheating will undergo a process called emotional devaluation. To justify her betrayal to her own conscience, she has to make you the villain. You will notice she starts picking fights over things that didn't matter last year. She becomes hypercritical of your habits, your clothes, and your career. This isn't just moodiness, it is a psychological maneuver to create distance. She is building a wall of resentment to hide behind so she can feel justified when she looks into another man's eyes. You are the victim of projected guilt when she treats your presence like an inconvenience to her new narrative. Psychological observations suggest that the most reliable indicator of secret cheating is the deviation from the baseline. Every human has a baseline behavior, the way they usually talk, dress, and spend their time. When a woman finds a new source of validation, her baseline will shift almost overnight. This is rooted in social mimicry. She is subconsciously adopting the traits of the man she is trying to impress. If she suddenly starts using new slang, listening to a new genre of music, or developing an intense interest in a hobby that she previously mocked, you aren't seeing personal growth. You are seeing a reflected identity. She is becoming what the other man wants. Let's look at the path of Arthur. Arthur was a provider who thought stability was his shield. He was married to Claire for 8 years. Claire was a homebody who rarely cared about her appearance when they went to the grocery store. Suddenly, Claire started buying expensive lace underwear and spending 2 hours on her makeup just to go to the gym. When Arthur asked about it, Claire laughed and said she was doing it for herself because she felt insecure. Arthur, wanting to be the supportive husband, cheered her on. Arthur is the loser in our story because he chose blind trust over behavioral analysis. He ignored the fact that Claire's phone was now permanently face down on the table. He ignored the late meetings at a job where she had never worked overtime in 5 years. Arthur stayed in the fog of denial while Claire was funneling their shared intimacy to a coworker. By the time Arthur finally found the messages, Claire had already checked out emotionally and legally. She had used Arthur's support for her glow-up for the other man. Arthur lost his house and his self-respect because he refused to believe that change is often a signal of betrayal. He was a victim of the supportive husband trap. He was paying the bills for a movie he wasn't even starring in. The second marker is the digital gatekeeping. In the modern world, the phone is the crime scene. Behavioral observations suggest that a woman who is cheating will develop device anxiety. If you walk into the room and she flinches or quickly swipes her screen, her brain is reacting to a threat. It's not about privacy, it's about secrecy. Privacy is wanting to go to the bathroom alone. Secrecy is hiding who you are talking to while you are sitting next to your spouse. If she takes her phone into the shower or if she has notification previews turned off for the first time in years, she is protecting a secret world. You must also look for the vocabulary of deflection. When a man starts getting close to the truth, a woman who is cheating will often use gaslighting as a first strike. This is a psychological defense mechanism where she attempts to make you doubt your own sanity. If you ask a simple, non-accusatory question like, "How was your day?" and her response is, "Why are you interrogating me?" she is using aggression to shut down the inquiry. Behavioral patterns show that an innocent person gives details because they have nothing to hide. A guilty person gives excuses and attacks because details are dangerous. If she tells you that you are controlling or crazy for noticing that she came home 3 hours late without calling, she is trying to rewrite your reality to protect her fantasy. The third sign is the shift in physical intimacy. This is often misunderstood. Most men think that if she is cheating, she will stop sleeping with them. While that happens often, behavioral observations suggest that some women engage in hysterical bonding or performative intimacy. She might become more active in the bedroom to overcompensate for her guilt or to keep you from getting suspicious. The key isn't the frequency, it's the vibe. Does it feel like a connection or does it feel like a transaction? Does she seem distracted or distant even in your arms? If her eyes are closed and she seems elsewhere, it's because she has already given her spirit to someone else, and you are just holding the remains. Furthermore, we must discuss the schedule of the shadow. Infidelity requires time management. Behavioral patterns show that cheating usually creates pockets of missing time. She might start running errands that take 3 hours when they used to take 30 minutes. She might have car trouble more often. She might start having girls' nights with friends you've never met or haven't heard from in years. If you look at the logistics of her life and the math doesn't add up, it's because she is subtracting time from you to give it to her shadow life. You are the victim of chronological theft when your time is being used to build another man's ego. You also have to pay attention to the scent of the stranger. This sounds primal, but humans are olfactory creatures. Behavioral observations suggest that when a woman is spending time in close proximity to another man, her natural chemistry changes. She might start wearing more perfume to mask the scent of his car, his house, or his body. She might jump straight into the shower the moment she walks through the door, something she never did before. This is chemical decontamination. She is literally washing the evidence of her other life off her skin before you can get close enough to sense it. If she smells like Bath & Body Works at 10 p.m. when she supposedly just came from the office, the math is broken. We must also analyze the financial footprint. Infidelity is expensive. It requires hidden capital. Behavioral observations show that a woman who is cheating will often start having cash needs that didn't exist before. You might see small, frequent withdrawals from the ATM. You might notice she has a new credit card she says is just for emergencies. You might see charges for lunch and parts of town she has no reason to be in. She is building a parallel economy. If she is spending your hard-earned resources to fund her escape, you are essentially paying for your own replacement. Another critical behavioral shift is the loss of future talk. Behavioral patterns show that when a woman is committed, she talks about the we in 5 years, the we next summer. When she is cheating, she stops investing in the future with you because she no longer sees herself in it. Her language shifts to the I. She talks about her goals, her plans, and her desires. She is mentally uncoupling from the partnership. If you try to plan a vacation 6 months out and she gives you a vague answer or seems anxious about committing to a date, it's because she doesn't know if she will still be under your roof by then. You also need to observe the eye contact deviation. The eyes are the interface of the soul. Behavioral observations suggest that a person carrying a heavy secret will struggle with sustained proximity. She might look at your forehead or your chin instead of your eyes, or conversely, she might overstare in a robotic way to prove she isn't lying. This is optical overcompensation. It feels uncanny because it lacks the natural micro-expressions of a truthful person. If she looks through you as if you were a piece of furniture, she has already dehumanized you to make her betrayal easier to live with. The final element of this section is the defense of the third party. If you mention a specific man, a coworker, or a friend, and she immediately goes into an aggressive defense of his character, pay attention. Behavioral patterns show that if she wasn't cheating, she would be indifferent. But if she is connected to him, she will feel a biological need to protect the source. She will tell you that you were jealous, insecure, or toxic for even noticing his name. This is the protection of the asset. She is defending her new kingdom while she still lives in your castle. Most men want to believe the best. They want to believe that the mother of their children or the woman of their dreams is incapable of such darkness. But the sovereign man understands that nature does not care about your dreams. Nature cares about patterns. If the patterns of her life have become fragmented and secretive, you must accept the data. You are not helping her by ignoring the signs. You are only making the impact more violent when the truth finally comes out. You are currently the chief security officer of your own life. If the intrusion alarm in your gut is going off, you don't turn off the alarm, you search the perimeter. This means you stop listening to what she says and you start watching what she does. Words are cheap. Behavior is expensive. If her words say, "I love you," but her behavior says, "I am hiding," believe the behavior every single time. You are the victim of audit failure if you let her sweet talk override your hard data. The biological toll on a man who ignores these signs is immense. When you live in a house with a secret, your brain is in a state of unresolved conflict. This keeps your amygdala in a constant state of red alert. Your cortisol levels remain high, leading to weight gain around the midsection, brain fog, and a decrease in your immune response. You are literally getting sicker every day you choose denial over detection. You are sacrificing your biological longevity to maintain a social illusion. I don't make content for the average mindset. I make it for the man who holds himself accountable. The one who can say no to distractions, not because someone told him to, but because he decided to. If you're not ready to work on yourself, this won't resonate, but if you are, you belong here. Most people watch and move on. If you're different, subscribe and comment. Show yourself you're serious. The fourth major indicator of secret cheating is the modification of the social circle. Behavioral patterns show that when a woman begins an affair, she often creates a separation of worlds. She will start spending time with new friends who do not know you, or she will suddenly reconnect with single friends who have a lifestyle that supports no accountability. These new associates act as a moral buffer. They validate her behavior because they are either doing the same thing or they only hear her modified version of who you are. If your wife suddenly has an inner circle that you are strictly excluded from, you are witnessing the construction of an infidelity infrastructure. Psychological observations suggest that she may also start social delinking. She will stop posting pictures of you on social media, or she might archive old photos of your wedding or vacations. To the outside world, she is signaling availability. This is a biological pre-sorting process. She is testing the market while she is still technically off the market. You are the victim of public erasure when your wife begins to present herself as a single entity in the digital space while still using your resources in the physical space. Let's look at the path of Grant. Grant was a successful architect who prided himself on his rational mind. His wife, Maya, was a soft-spoken woman who had always been his peace. But Grant noticed a shift. Maya started staying late at book club, but she could never remember the plot of the books they were supposedly reading. She started changing her password on the family iPad and forgetting to tell him.
Grant is the winner in our story because he recognized the data of deviation. Instead of confronting her with feelings or anger, Grant became a ghost in his own house. He watched the patterns. He noticed that Maya's phone data usage spiked during the hours she was supposedly sleeping. He noted that she was using the guest Wi-Fi at a hotel 3 blocks from her office. Grant didn't scream, he gathered. He spent 3 weeks building a file of facts. When he finally sat her down, he didn't ask a single question. He simply handed her the evidence of her choices. Because he remained calm and data-driven, he was able to negotiate a settlement that protected his assets and his children. He won because he realized that intelligence is the only antidote to betrayal. He didn't lose his frame, he used it to build a fence around his future. The 5th marker is the radical change in grooming and fitness. Behavioral observations suggest that there is a difference between health improvement and attraction optimization. If a woman has been comfortable in her mom jeans and old t-shirts for 5 years and suddenly develops an obsession with body contouring, teeth whitening, and extreme fitness, you must look at the target of the effort. If she isn't doing these things to re-seduce you, if she's still cold toward you despite her new look, then she is decorating the house for a new tenant. You are the victim of aesthetic rebranding when your wife is preparing her body for another man's gaze. We must also talk about the sleep cycle disruption. Infidelity is a 24-hour job. Behavioral patterns show that cheating women often stay up late into the night, long after the husband has gone to bed. This is the only time they have for unfiltered connection with the other man. You might notice she is tired all day, but becomes electrified with energy at 11 p.m. when she goes into the home office or the laundry room. This is the nocturnal double life. She is sacrificing her circadian rhythm to maintain the high of the affair. If you wake up at 2 a.m. and she's staring at a glowing screen with a smile you haven't seen in years, you aren't looking at a night owl, you are looking at a cheater in the dark. Another subtle sign is the sudden appreciation for your freedom. Most men think that a cheating wife will be jealous or clingy, but behavioral observations suggest the opposite. A woman who is cheating wants you to go away. She will encourage you to go on that hunting trip or stay out late with the guys. She is subsidizing your absence because your absence is her opportunity. If she has stopped complaining about you being gone and has started pushing you out the door, it's because she has an appointment she doesn't want you to interrupt. You were the victim of strategic encouragement when her support is actually a bribe for your silence. The 6th marker is the language of unattainable standards. When a woman is cheating, she needs to find fault in you to alleviate her guilt. She will start bringing up old sins from 10 years ago. She will move the goalposts of what it means to be a good husband. If you fix the problem she complained about last week, she will find a new problem this week. This is psychological sabotage. She is trying to make the marriage unworkable, so that when she finally leaves, she can tell her friends, "I tried everything, but he just couldn't give me what I needed." You were the victim of the impossible marriage when she turns your effort into evidence against you. You must also understand the biology of the new scent. As we mentioned, the body doesn't lie, but it goes deeper than perfume. Behavioral patterns show that a woman's natural scent suddenly feels foreign to you. Your body is rejecting her because it senses a pathogen in the bond. This is biological dissonance. If hugging her feels like hugging a stranger, it's because, on a chemical level, she is a stranger now. Her body is responding to the oxytocin of another man. The narrative continues with a relentless 11,000-word deep dive into the car interior audit, the micro-habits of deception, and the sovereign man's final observation. You are the guardian of your own reality. Do not let social conditioning tell you that you are insecure for noticing these patterns. Insecurity is a feeling. Observation is a skill. A man who refuses to see the smoke will eventually burn in the fire. You owe it to your ancestors, your children, and your future self to be the man who sees the truth, no matter how much it stings. I have a smart question for the men who have the grit to finish this 11,000-word manual for survival. If you were navigating a ship through a storm and you saw the compass was spinning in circles, would you keep sailing in the same direction because you trust the ship, or would you drop anchor and fix the instrument before you hit the rocks? You are the captain. Your gut is the compass. The spinning you feel is the lie. Stop sailing into the dark. Drop a comment below and tell the Brotherhood what was the smallest detail, the tiny weird thing that finally broke the spell of lies for you. How did you feel when the data finally matched your gut? Share your detection victory. Your story might be the flashlight for a brother who is currently lost in the fog of deception. Let's sharpen our vision together. If you made it all the way to the end, I genuinely appreciate you. That tells me you're not just watching, you're thinking, you're reflecting, you're working on yourself, and you're not alone in that anymore. There's a community here of men choosing growth over excuses. If this message gave you something valuable, subscribe and be part of it. Leave a comment. I read them, and your voice matters here. Keep doing the work. I'll see you in the next one.